Hi everyone! I'm here to tell you that if you haven't checked out our Patreon yet, then you are missing out on a bunch of additional content and extra goodies. Each week, we have a whole bonus episode with our guest where we get into more personal topics than we do on the regular YouTube channel. Additional tiers get access to bonus videos, BTS content, the ability to actually ask our guests questions, and these awesome gold signed collectible Polaroids that each of our guests take here in the studio. So be sure to check out patreon.com/dressdownpod so you don't miss out. Now, let's get back to our show.
So for 800 people to see me strip on stage, it was
0 to 60.
It was a big one.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I am super excited about our guest today because we do a ton of cons together and yet never get to hang out at those cons because somehow we're always passing by each other at some point, and they have you sometimes in the burlesque and sometimes in the tabletop, and I am just excited that we get to hang out and talk a little bit.
I know.
Welcome.
I think this is the first time we've talked more than 2 minutes in months.
Literally. Yeah. And we're at the same cons all the time.
Yeah.
But I want to welcome Lua Stardust. We have a multifaceted cosplayer, host, burlesque performer, Magic the Gathering content creator, D&D content creator, DM. Am I missing anything?
No, you got it all.
So many things.
It's the research kicking in.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yay. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I saw you post this and I got really excited because I think you're so cool. But I always thought that you have a really soothing voice.
Really?
And so I love listening to you talk, and I thought this was perfect for you. So I was very happy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. So I'm excited that I get forced hangout time with all of my friends, and it's the best. And I was telling you before we started, I feel like I have been researching everybody so much that now I know all kinds of crazy facts about everybody that I didn't before. And it's a little bit creepy, but it's also a little bit fun.
I know. I feel like I should have came here prepared with all my Danielle facts.
No, it's okay. I'm on every episode, so our guest is you.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. But I have watched a ton of interviews. I feel like you've told your origin story a ton of times.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to start by asking you what your childhood fandoms were,
Mm-hmm.
what sort of got you into nerddom as a whole,
Yeah.
and what you grew up liking. I know you love horror.
Mm-hmm.
So I was also wondering if you had a horror movie that
Yeah.
you loved growing up, or video game or anything.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I was raised by a single mom who basically raised me on my Nintendo 64 and horror films. Every Tuesday we go to Blockbuster because that was the new movie release day, and we get crappy B horror films and ice cream, and that was my ritual for the week.
That's so fun.
I know, I loved it. And so I would say I was really into slashers and things that I shouldn't have been at 4 years old. And I really enjoyed collecting, and I still collect a lot of retro consoles just because that was an era of gaming that I really liked. So I was a big fan of Scream or Species, which was that weird alien movie, just Alien in general. So that was kind of what got me into the realm of horror. And then for gaming, I played so much Crash Bandicoot on my PlayStation or Banjo-Kazooie and all these rare games.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of developed into liking other things like comics and anime and everything else under the sun. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you still have those consoles?
Yeah. I have those Kallax Units cube shelves that everybody has for their anime figures.
An IKEA staple.
Yeah, IKEA staple.
Uh-huh.
I have just pretty much every console that I want to keep, except I need to get one of those old retro TVs because some of them don't work unless they won't work with the flat screens. So I do have a lot of them. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I have my GameCube still,
GameCube's
and my
one.
Nintendo 64 still. But did you see that they just announced a new GameCube?
Yeah, controller.
Resurgence?
Yes, it's going to be a big thing. Actually, GameCube's the one system I never had. And I ended up trading in a bunch of retro games that I didn't want because I wanted to buy a GameCube recently. So I'm really excited to have a taste of GameCube for the first time.
I'm so excited for
Looks
you.
really cool.
That was my favorite one growing up.
Yeah.
So then I know that you got into D&D, which got you into Magic the Gathering, which is huge for you.
Yes.
What came first, D&D or cosplay, or did you kind of have it happen at the same time?
I think so. I started doing cosplay because I found it from Tumblr back in 2012, and I was modeling for fun around the same time. And then I started modeling for a website called Suicide Girls, in which I just liked making content and I liked making cosplays, and I kind of would merge the two sometimes if I wanted to. I just felt like that era was kind of weird about sexy cosplay. I don't know if you remember that at all.
I do
so
remember
different
that.
now. So certain things I was like, ooh, I don't know if I could do that. And then from there, I've always liked trading card games. Like I've been collecting Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh since I was a kid. Never got into Magic. But during the pandemic, I was really into D&D. I think we talked about this earlier too. We just like spent time on webcams like playing D&D. And when I ended up moving to Virginia, I moved to a city I've never been to before, had no friends, like had no one in the area. So I started playing at my local game store, playing D&D, and then eventually got into Magic. Yeah.
If you were a D&D character, I want to know this so bad because I talk about this with my friends all the time and it becomes hot topics.
Yeah.
If you were a D&D character, if like Lua had a character sheet, what would be your stat of like the main 6?
Oh man.
Your alignment?
Okay. I want to say chaotic neutral so bad.
Yeah.
But I just like, I don't think that's 2. I think I'm just like true chaotic.
Oh yeah?
Or yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm like lawful good or anything like that. I would say like probably my highest stat would either be charisma because I'm not dexterous at all. I'm very clumsy. I think I'm like a little charming. And I think I'd be some kind of like druid barbarian half thing. Like I like helping people, but I also am an Aries, so I have a lot of fiery energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, one's good.
Yeah, I always say that mine might be Constitution.
Ooh, I like that for you.
Because I don't feel like I am big enough in any of them.
Yeah.
But I feel like I can last a long time. I like in cosplay and like, you know what I mean? When there's like days and days where you have to.
In that armor, the big builds, and like you're hardy with it. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I like that.
The lead up to the cons where you're like crunching out a costume you should have started months ago and you have to like pull 3 all-nighters.
I think about that all the time because after like 2020, I was like, I'm not going to do con crunching anymore. I'm going to be good to myself. And it is just instantly reverted back, and it's been a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that we all say that every time. And I don't know when that will ever change.
I don't think it will. I think it's just part of like being a cosplayer is like the actual blood, sweat, tears you put into things for sure. It just is a vicious cycle.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you've been cosplaying for a really long time and you do D&D, you do Magic. Did you do a lot of D&D and Magic cosplays when you first started?
I actually haven't done any. I know. I've done some like OCs because we mentioned we do like the Galaxy Cons together. And so we do D&D live a lot, and I'll make like OC characters to wear for that, but not like anything traditional. I've been wanting to do like a mimic costume. I want to do like a D&D like burlesque kind of act that can be kind of received everywhere because I think like a lot of other media will have things like mimics and creatures, so it makes sense. But I haven't done any Magic stuff. I've been like tiptoeing around that because I haven't found the right thing for me, I think.
Right. Are you waiting for the perfect character? I
think so. I think with like D&D at least, it's a little bit more like I can wear that to any convention and somebody might know what it is versus Magic. It has to be like one of 3 iconic characters.
Like Liliana.
Like Liliana, yeah. So if I don't do that, then I feel like it's a little weird. But then if I bring it to like a Magic Con, because we get like 2 or 3 of those a year, then I can wear, whatever I want because people will get it. Which is really fun. Yeah.
So what was the process of like doing cosplay for the first time, would you say?
Oh, girl, it was, I went to New York Comic Con and I really wanted to be Ramona Flowers. And so I got myself a Party City wig, an Amazon shopping cart full of stuff, and I went to the thrift store. And I was like, we're going to be real thrifty. I've always been like really thrifty. I like to collect things, so I'm always there. And I just made the costume for Halloween, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to wear this to Comic-Con. And it did fine. Like it was like people liked it. And I was like, oh, people want my picture? That's super weird. I would never expect that. And I just really fell in love with the cosplay community and like seeing other people from like the same fandoms that I was in. I thought that was really cool because I'd be like, ooh, I'm taking a picture with Scott Pilgrim. So after that, it became like so much money spent and so much time and like learning how to make things. And like, obviously you make some like really intricate stuff too. And like trying to figure out how to do that back then, like there was tutorials. It's way more progressive now. Like there's so much more access to stuff now. But it was a lot to try and figure out because I always like creative things, but I wasn't very good at being creative like that.
Yeah. And especially for cosplay, I feel like we always shoot for the big costumes for some reason, like right off the bat. The skills take a lot of time to develop.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I did like Attack on Titan armor, like the things where you put your weapons, whatever you would call those, on my like second or third costume. I didn't know what I was doing. And they look humongous next to my body now. But it's always like you want to do this like really delicate, like big project. And yeah.
I get it. And you've been cosplaying. We were talking about it a similar amount of time. We both started in like the 2012 to 2015 era before you could order a bunch of stuff on the internet. So do you have any like do you remember any stories of going to malls and trying to find costume pieces or anything?
Yeah, it's so sad now because Joann's is like going away.
I know. I'm so bummed.
Me and Witchy were co-hosting the cosplay contest, and we're like, oh my god, that's so cute. That's from Joann's. Oh my god, I miss Joann's. It's like people were going by, and that's like such a great loss for the community. I was lucky enough to be from New Jersey, so I was next to New York, which has like a huge fabric district, and my grandma was a seamstress, and so I took a little sewing in high school, and so it was very easy to like find the fabric and have access to it. But I really liked repurposing things I already had or thrifting to like upcycle them into something else. That was always really easy. It was just the foam and the armor that like excited me because I thought it looked so cool. That was a much harder start and process. But I mean, you use everything. Like I've used oh my gosh, like you start with the floor mats for EVA foam before you get like good EVA foam, or you see people with like cardboard or other household materials. So it was a lot of fun trying to figure out what actually worked with it.
Yeah, the puzzle piece floor mats from like Lowe's and Home Depot. Used to like go in and clear them out.
Yeah, the Rainbow's Kid Room. That was a choice.
What was then the process of you were doing cosplay, you were doing modeling, and you started doing D&D, and then who got you into Magic from D&D? What was the leap like?
I had been going to this game store, like I said, to meet friends because when you work from home and do content like we do, it's really hard to meet people organically because you don't have a 9 to 5 and you're not going out and doing things during the pandemic, really. So I had met a group of people that I played D&D with, and one of them was moving and I helped them with some errands, and they offered to give me money. And I was like, I don't want your money. Like, I'm just happy to help. And they were like, okay, instead I'll teach you how to play Magic the Gathering. So you can come with us to our Magic nights and play. And I always joke, I'm like, I should have taken the money because the game is so expensive now. But it's led me to like literally just some of the best friendships I've ever had. Like I have this really great YouTube channel that I get to create that I'm here for this weekend to do. I met my fiance through it. I met like some of my best friends, and now I work for them in like an official capacity. So I do the Commander format panel. So I help manage the entire format of Commander and like help with rules and help with like bans and unbans and just making the format healthier. So it's pretty cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah. I never thought that would be like my job, which is really fun.
I know, right? Yeah. I think about that all the time. Like back in, I don't know, 2017 or so when I was in a call center, I never would have thought I would be like cosplaying or anything.
When did you take the leap into making it your job?
2018.
Wow.
I have a bachelor's in creative advertising and I was doing social media, but I was trying to get my foot in the door anywhere because I couldn't find a job after college. And so I was checking insurance at a call center for at a rehab center for a couple of years. And then when they had an opening in their social media department, they took me over. And so I was doing that, and I would literally be on a headset on like hold with
Yeah.
with like Cigna insurance.
Yeah.
And I would have like a heat gun at my cubicle and I would be like making my cosplay.
Wait, that's
and
so
everyone in the
real.
office was like, what the hell is going on? But they, at a certain point in 2018, they wanted to outsource like the entire marketing department. So they cut the entire marketing department, and that was me included. And
Yeah.
there's this really funny story where it's funny now. In 2018, I was in line at BlizzCon to get my ticket, like to pick up my badge. And I got a call from my job saying that they were letting everybody go.
Oh my God.
And so I was kind of at this point where I was making the same amount doing cosplay and I was kind of afraid to like take the leap. Yeah. And I just got pushed off the edge.
This is so similar to my story.
Really?
Yeah. I was, for a long time, I was like a waitress. I had worked at a chocolate shop. And then I was also working as a social media marketing manager.
Oh, yeah?
So I did social media marketing for a while. And then I started making the same amount of money I was making, if not a little more. And I went, oh, like maybe I could do this full time. Because it was like when you're doing that, you're working 2 jobs, right?
Yes.
And it makes it really hard to dedicate 100% to either thing. And I ended up letting myself go, I guess. Like I didn't get let go, but I was like, I think I need to do this. So it was funny that I was also marketing before that too.
Yeah. Well, it is so applicable, right? Because social media is what we all do for ourselves now. That's so funny that you did that.
When you said that, I was like, oh my God, wait, this is really similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So can I ask you how you got into the burlesque side of things as well? Because that's we do so many Galaxy Cons together, and I know that I was saying right before we talked a lot before we started that the cosplayers will like get off at like 8 or so, and then the burlesque shows are at I think like 10 or 11, right?
10 or 11, yeah. We start right after.
Pass like ships in the night every day.
Every time, yeah. I went to my first burlesque show in 2013 and I was like in awe of it. It was Nerdlesque, which is more so what I do. I don't do too much like classic burlesque.
Wait, did you do that with Stella?
It was actually one of Stella's shows. Yeah. It was like a Comic-Con show with Stella and she was up there and I was like, oh my God, beautiful woman. I'm in love with this entire thing. And I was just like, oh my God, I need to go to more of these. I didn't think about like participating in them. And I mentioned I did Suicide Girls. They had a burlesque tour that was touring at that time and they needed girls to just like help out behind the scenes. So I became what was called a stage kitten, which is essentially where you'll go pick up all the garments. If there's money on stage, you'll pick that up. You'll set up and break down sets for performers. Before I knew what stage kittening was. So I just did that for a few shows and I really enjoyed just helping my friends do cool stuff. And then my good friend Maki Roll asked me to kitten for one of her shows. It was like the Awesome Con series that we had. It was like Guardians of the Galaxy theme. So I dressed like a sexy Rocket Raccoon and then like did that for the first time. And I just was like, oh, this is a thing people could do like for work. Like that's really cool. So I started doing her shows for a few years and I want to say 2 years ago, I got hired by GalaxyCon to go on and do all their shows. I didn't perform until 2021. So I've been doing like kittening for 7-8 years before then. And I did my first performance at Gen Con, which I don't know if you've ever been. I think you would love it. It's like this huge TTRPG convention.
I've heard about it. I want to go really bad.
It's so many board games, so many cool things. And my first performance was with D20 Burlesque, which I know that Stella's like done before too. It was a crowd of 800 people. I've never done like dance. I've never done performance. I've done like some go-go, which is like pretty simple. But I've definitely never taken my clothes off for more than, you know, my partner. Like so for 800 people to see me strip on stage, it was
0 to 60.
It was a big one. And I think that's also so true with like when I started modeling too. When I started doing that, my mom was like, you are like on the internet like this, like you're so shy and you're so quiet and so introverted. I wouldn't think that. And so it was like the biggest rush ever and I fell in love with it and I've been really lucky to like progress my acts and move forward with burlesque too.
I wanted to ask you about that actually because I was watching some interviews that you did earlier today and you were talking about how modeling has like opened you up out of your shell and gotten you like really comfortable with your body and things. And I relate to that as well. I started doing cosplay and I was terrified of doing like the modeling part of it. You know what I mean? But I wanted good photos of my costumes. I worked really hard on them.
Yeah.
And the photographer that I was working with a lot in Florida, David Love, was like, why don't you do like some modeling stuff?
You're beautiful, of course.
And,
yeah.
Well, thank you. But at least to like loosen me up, because I like brought this Tinkerbell costume that was a t-shirt that I had fabric sprayed green from Joann's and like hot glued down the side, like cut this Tinkerbell unhinged nonsense out of and used like gold puff paint or something. And it was so funny because he was like, maybe try squinting your eyes a little bit, because I was so nervous that I was like Harley Quinning the entire time and everything. And so I started doing more modeling, but I was so shy. I like wouldn't cosplay for a long time because of how shy and scared I was.
I mean, nobody tells you how to pose, right? Like you sometimes when you just like enjoy putting on a costume for fun and you're like, oh, I have to like be in character or do a specific pose or do this. I would like sit and research each character before I would go to a con and be like, okay, what are some of their like iconic poses, so that I don't feel silly going out there and doing that. And with modeling, like there's not really anybody to teach you. I always tell people, if you want to practice, like a good way is to like do it in front of a mirror or like take the pictures yourself and like get an idea of what faces you're making. But it's a lot. It's a lot to learn and like be comfortable with. And obviously now you have so many things that you've shot. It's so different looking at yourself back then too. Yeah, modeling is a lot. It's a lot of work. And your body gets all sore too.
Yes. Yeah. People don't know how tough modeling actually is.
These crazy poses, especially when you're in like bikinis or like sexy cosplays, it's like you have to like pose a certain way with your legs so that your body looks nice and in a good shape. And it's a lot.
Yeah. I always leave photo shoots way more sore than I do when I go to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like my back is bent for, I don't know, 6 hours. And I go home and I'm like, ow.
Yeah. That is something I learned at my first like professional photo shoot, was your body's supposed to hurt, like from the amount of posing and like the things you're doing. And I was like, oh, that explains my old lady knee now. And I know where I'm at
Same.
a decade later. Yeah.
Do you believe the more awkward feeling the poses, the better it comes out on camera?
As long as my face isn't like, as long as my body is doing the awkward thing that looks good and my face isn't thinking about it, then I would say most of the time I think that helps.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
But keeping your face, I don't know, camera ready while you're doing all this crazy stuff is a skill in and of itself. Yeah, for sure. Do you have any like off the cuff modeling tips that you could just like fire off for anyone?
Yeah, I feel like it's just really getting to know your body, right? I'm a curvy girl, so if I look at pictures of other models, like the poses aren't going to look the same as what mine does. So I always look for somebody that's similar to my body type and see what they do. Elongating your body is really big. I'm 4'11", so when we stand next to each other, you're so tall next to me. But just making ways to like extend your legs, point your toes, like those types of things to make your body look longer than it is. Not like Gumby long, but just like nice long, which is really good. And just practicing a lot of faces in the mirror. And, I watched a lot of America's Next Top Model with like smizing. It's like the first thing you think of, right? But like really using your eyes. With the pinup modeling they do vowels. So it's like A, E, I, O, U. So you like practice that to look really cheesecakey, which is really funny too. There's a lot. It's mostly just like really trying to be comfortable with your body and looking for similar references so that you feel like you're represented when you're modeling for yourself too.
Totally.
Yeah.
I have also heard the vowel thing.
The vowels are big.
I use that as well.
Yeah.
Especially because I had braces for so long that my lips would like squeeze into a line a lot. So I will like exhale a vowel to keep my lips like nice and minimally parted. You know what I mean? I was gonna
say, do you have like a thing that you always go to? Because it's always my mouth is like a little bit open. It's like a little bit, and then everybody's like knows that that's your face, right? Because you make it so often. Because you're like, well, I know this looks good and it sells, and you guys like this, but it becomes like the staple face, and I always feel silly doing it because you know that.
Do you have a go-to pose that like people are like that's the pose?
Yeah, it's a lot of like booty back, like looking back kind of stuff. Those will be, I think that's the most popular, like, common ones I do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mine is also over the shoulder.
Yeah.
I would say for a while, people in my Discord would be like, there she goes.
It's
She's at it
safe.
again.
Yeah. And you know it works, right? So
Right.
if it's not broke, don't fix it, kind
Right.
of. Yeah.
Right. So you have a couple of podcasts. I saw there was a horror podcast. It was about true crime, cryptids, etc., right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So it's called Final Girl Next Door, which is cute because I was trying to think of something punny. And I just, like, we talked about horror earlier, but it's like my favorite genre of all time. And I wanted a way to talk about everything I liked, but because I feel like, especially like with cosplay, you know this, we like so many things and I can never just be like a one type of person thing. I need like variety. And so with the world of horror, like there's so many subgenres of just film itself, but also with burlesque, I have so many, you know, friends who do horror based things that I want to talk to, and voice actors and creators. And I really love cryptids. And so I wanted to just have a place to talk about everything and really just explore the world that is horror. And I think with true crime, it's really hard to talk about those subjects delicately. And a lot of it is like men, which like I get. But I think especially with stories about victims, it's really important to like respect that boundary and like talk about it in a way that is not glorifying anything. So for me, it's going to be a while before I can fully dive into true crime. But I like the stories that are like, I don't know if you watch like the Tinder Swindler, or like less of like the gory stories and more of like the guys with money doing bad things. Like I'm interested in learning about those. So I have a lot of weird things for that coming out, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I am really interested to see where all that goes, because I'm also interested in all of that stuff as well. And then you have another podcast, a Magic the Gathering podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
So it's part of Sky Babies. So on there we do weekly gameplay for just like general commander stuff. But then we were also doing content just about the game itself. So we can help a lot of beginners get into the format and learn what to do, how to pick things up. Because I know you started playing pretty recently
I did.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So having a place where like all the girlies can go and like find out information is like really important to us too.
Yeah, I think that's so cool, because I know that when I first started playing games in general or anything like back in the day, it was not welcoming for women as much as it is now. I feel like it's definitely gotten a lot better. So that is awesome that you're providing that space.
It has really just greatly improved. I think when myself and Tori wanted to start the channel, there was maybe like 2 other channels that were women led for gameplay for Magic, and that was like not a lot in the grand scheme of how many channels there are. And so since then, like I'm not saying we're trending or anything, but like since then we've seen so much growth from our community as far as like more women doing things in the community, more non-binary people. We have a huge trans community, and like that's always celebrated. So I love Magic because I feel like there's so many beautiful elements to the game. And I know people are like, it's very cheesy, but Magic is about the gathering. So having these Magic cons and these experiences where you can see a lot of like LGBTQ folks and queer folks and women and people of color work together and create really fun content is like my favorite thing ever. And that's like why we started the channel, because we wanted to make sure that like every voice was heard in Magic. So it's really fun to get to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And do you run some Magic like tournaments and stuff for GalaxyCon?
Yeah. So we've done like so many things over the past couple years. I've been doing like play versus events, so people can like come meet me and then we could play games together, and then they can like win prizes that we give away. But there's also been tournaments in the past. My fiance is like way better than me. He's a competitive Magic like player. I just kind of play for fun. But we did some tournaments for a while there, and they were really cool. I think we stopped doing them, but it's more so like a lot of casual play. So you'll still see like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and board games and other stuff too. Yeah.
What kind of deck do you like the most?
I play.
Or are you an array?
No, I like a little bit of everything. I try to make a lot of new stuff for the show because I feel like you can only use things like once or twice. But for my like competitive deck, her name's Winota. She basically makes it so whenever you attack with a non-human creature, you put a human out, so you just make like 1,000,000 goblins and just beat up your opponents with like really strong creatures that like shut down their boards. So it's really fun. That's probably my favorite deck.
What color is that one?
It's a red-white deck.
Red-white.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably the deck I've performed the best with. In tournaments they usually do your top 16, so I've top 16 with it twice. I did a top 4 and a top 10, so like
Wow,
that's pretty cool. That's like a good achievement, and like I'm retired now. I'm like I did it a couple times. I don't need to do it anymore. So
is there a color that people play that is like universally like ugh?
Oh, it's blue.
Blue, is it blue?
Yeah. Do you play blue?
No, actually, I think I do, unfortunately. I am that guy.
Yeah.
I have one, so I have a couple decks. I have all precons, but I have a Angels deck. I couldn't tell you the name of the commander, but I got the Lord of the Rings I think Food and Fellowship.
Yeah, that one's great.
I love Fallout, so when they did the Fallout collab, I have a couple from that as well. But the one that I like the most is it's a zombie.
It's a Wilhelm.
It is Wilhelm.
It's the blue.
So it's blue and black, right?
Yeah. Dimir is spicy. That's like when you think of like the bad guys in Magic, it's usually like Dimir. So you got like a little spicy side to you to Magic. I love that. That's so fun.
Well, I played Hearthstone a lot.
Oh, okay. That explains
so
much.
I love Hearthstone. And so when I started doing Magic, I was like, oh, I kind of get what's
it's
going
like
on.
That, yeah.
Yeah. The base skills are there, I would say.
Yeah.
I am just really excited because I love My Little Pony and I got the My Little Pony cards, but I don't think that they're legal in Commander.
So they did a thing where because Wizards is owned by Hasbro, or they're partnered, however you want to say that, they did a set of originally Transformers cards that weren't legal, and then they wind up making them like a legal set for Commander that they did. And then they also did My Little Pony cards, which aren't technically legal, but I think you can like rule zero with your friends to play it.
Totally.
Rachel Weeks, she's part of the Command Zone. Yeah, that took me a second to say. She actually has like a full My Little Pony deck that does like all 5 colored horses, which I feel like you would love.
Yes, that's what
and I don't think anybody would sit with you and tell you, no, Danielle, you can't play ponies, because I know you were posting like the My Little Pony RPG and like some other stuff too. I love My Little Pony too.
Love My Little Pony.
They're so cute.
What pony is your favorite?
I think it's so hard. I think I'm the most like a Twilight Sparkle. Energy,
I feel similarly,
right? Like she wants things organized. She wants things together. She's like a little bookworm. So I would say I'm like probably the closest to her. But I have like an era where I cosplayed a lot of Rainbow Dash because my hair was rainbow.
Yeah,
so that was my girl too.
Yeah. I always loved Pinkie Pie.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's not how I am.
Yes.
At all.
Yeah.
So it was fun. So Magic does all of these collabs.
Yes.
With all these different fandoms and stuff. Which ones were you most excited about, and which ones are your favorite?
Okay, so there's a Final Fantasy one coming out. I don't know if you've seen it. I feel like you like Final Fantasy, maybe.
I actually have never played.
Really?
I played Final Fantasy X, and I played the 7 remake.
Yeah.
But I am not deep into the Final Fantasy fandom.
Well, so they got me because I loved Kingdom Hearts. I didn't even talk about this earlier because I was really upset with the 3rd game. But that was like my game when I was a kid. And then Cloud came on the screen for the first time and I was like, oh my God, he's so hot. And then this turned into my like animated men future love, right? So with that, I was really into Final Fantasy adjacent because of Kingdom Hearts. So I'm excited for the set because of this. And they have like cute chocobos and like the cute animals. So that makes me happy. I would say my favorite thing they did so far was the Lord of the Rings one. It was probably one of like the best IPs they've ever done. It was a very well constructed set. We're getting Avatar: The Last Airbender this year.
I know, I'm so excited.
Which I think will be really cute. We're also getting Spider-Man, which I'm like a big Spider-Man girly. Like that's my Marvel IP. Danielle, I had a bedroom until I was like 17 that was like Spider-Man bed sheets for like a boy. Like,
oh my God.
Yeah, like really embarrassing. Like I was really nerdy in high school. So for me, I'm like thrilled about it. And yeah, I think the Fallout ones were good too. So we've had a lot of really great options. There's like a SpongeBob set they just did.
Really?
It's not full sets of Secret Lair, but there's SpongeBob cards now. And there's been so much. We had a Deadpool set come out this week. Like they do whatever they want.
Yeah. I started doing Magic. Like I started playing Commander and playing Magic, and I got so excited about it, but then I felt like I couldn't keep up because of all of the drops that were happening.
Yeah.
Do you think that as they release all the new cards and stuff, that it affects people who just play casually
Yeah, I would say there's like product fatigue for sure. I myself used to be a person who would buy like 2 precons for every set and like some cards, and now it's like, I mean, I'm priced out of the Final Fantasy set. Like, it's very expensive.
Is it?
And part of that is like the IPs are probably hard to get, so I imagine it would be a little more expensive to produce, but also it's just people love them. So like they're already pre-buying them. So many stores are sold out of things before they come out, and they make it so it's a little bit harder to get. I think right now we're doing like 5 or 6 sets a year. I think I have to do the math on that, but we're getting about 5 or 6 sets a year, and they're usually like 2 to 3 months spread out from each other, but they feel so close because you have preview seasons. And so your preview season, as it's ending, the next preview season is starting. And so it can feel really overwhelming. I tell people just to like try and look at what a set is offering before you buy, because there's so many things that like, I didn't really need Aether Drift this year. Like, I like race cars, but like that set wasn't for me. So I'm happy I didn't put my money into that. But like, I'm going to buy everything from Tarkir because I like dragons and the set design. So I think it can absolutely get overwhelming for a new person playing Magic, and like with what we do for the show and how constantly we have to make new decks and be involved with it. I can barely keep up. Even with the Commander format panel, like there's new stuff dropping that we have to like keep eyes on, and I'm like, oh no, there's just so many things that happen. So yeah, it could be a lot.
I'm gonna need to ask you how to upgrade my Wilhelt deck, because that's the one I like playing with the most.
Yes.
But it's a lowly precon right now, and all my friends are deep in the sauce.
I know. You know? I was playing with some of them this past weekend. They're like, we have to upgrade Danielle's precon, and I will happily do that. I think also what's nice is like you can just do whatever you want. Like you can take it in any direction that you want. And then once we make it nice, you can come play on Scribe Babies, and you can play with us too.
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
I'd love to. Yeah. The problem is that I'm a tryhard in all things.
Are you very competitive?
Yeah.
Me too. I'm very competitive too, but I'm not great at it. Yeah.
I'm competitive, not in a toxic way, I'd like to say, but I do like to like give things my all.
Yes.
So if like I do upgrade the deck, I don't want to do it for funsies.
We'll make it good.
Is that toxic?
No, not at all.
I want to do it, and I want it to be really good.
I'm very competitive with myself too. So I feel like if I don't do good, then I'm like, well, what? Like I need to be better at this thing. So I get you. We'll make you like a really spicy, good Dimir deck. I'm excited. Yeah.
Okay. Neat. And then I'll be that blue player that people are like, ugh.
Danielle sitting down with her Dimir deck. Oh no, yes, we can make that happen.
Yay! I'm holding you to that.
I will make it wonderful and beautiful.
I saw that you have a lot of you have a lot of like decks that you've built on like Magic websites.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I think, it's nice to be able to catalog all the cards you have online, because I'm like really bad with my bulk. It's just kind of all over the house, to be honest with you. And then of course my partner's bulk on top of it. And we have cats that like to knock my cards over, and it's wonderful. But we use a website called Moxfield just because it's like the easiest way to build. And you can also like use tools on there to see other decks that are like your Wilhelt or whatever else that you want to use. And it makes it easier to build, because when you have just cards, it's like, okay, how do I know my synergies are working, or like what combos work best? So I like to sometimes I'll just brew for fun, and then maybe it'll never make it to physical paper, but I really like making decks.
Yeah. I always respected that, because when I played Hearthstone a lot, I would rely on those people because I for some reason don't have the brain that can create a deck.
I can't either sometimes.
I need a list. Yeah. So I rely on that.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same way with competitive stuff, because like what I view as competitive might not be the same thing as like the current meta. And so I really rely on like my friends and my fiance and people that like play high competitive stuff, because I wouldn't have no idea when I sat down at a table. It's such a different world too. And I like it because most card games you play 1v1, but when you play competitive EDH, it's 4 people. So you have like the layer of politicking, many layers of the stack, and like I like it because it's so complex, and that's why I've been enjoying it too.
Yeah. The politics of playing a 4-person card game, I imagine, get spicy every now and then. When I play, I've played with friends here and there, but it's usually that person's scary. We're going to make an alliance and we're going to take them out.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it always goes, which is why sometimes I like playing like two-headed giants. So it'll have you and like your friend versus the other people. So if you know someone's going to be the problem, like you work together. But yeah, I often will be the threat. at the table
yeah?
too. Yeah, I'll often be like, okay, well, my deck is just working really well synergy wise, so we have to take out Lua. But sometimes I'll just hold on to those cards and wait because I don't want to be the target.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. That's usually what I do as well.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I wait too long because I'm so scared of being the threat that I don't get enough cards out. Then I don't have enough mana to put everything down.
Yeah, it's hard when like, especially if you're a deck that does a lot of damage and like combat and you leave yourself open, it's like almost impossible to not be like vulnerable with those types of things.
Right. Yeah. I think one of the things I think is super cool is that you've played with a ton of cool people like Post Malone. And I saw the actor who plays Shaggy, right?
Yeah, Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
I just did I did a Candela obscure like Daring to Press game with him. I've played with Post Malone. That was really fun. I got asked to do that kind of last minute. I was supposed to be on set for that show that I filmed for, and they were like, we can't do this date, but instead would you like to come to Post Malone's house and play Magic? And I was like, yeah, I will absolutely do that. He was the nicest person ever. He's just like a very sweet little Cancer baby and just an angel. And we've played with him. Actually, have you seen the One Ring, the like viral One Ring that he bought?
Yes.
Okay. I was there the day he bought it, so I got to hold it. It was in Thank God a Slab because I wouldn't sweat.
Yeah.
But it was crazy to see that thing in real life because I think he bought it for like $2 million.
I think so too.
Yeah. So that was like probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And then we've had Joe Manganiello on our channel. He does a lot of D&D stuff too. We've had Gabriel, who's on The Last of Us, like come play. So we have a lot of like cool little celebs who enjoy playing the game. A lot of people that do sports too. Honestly, I'm surprised by how cool Magic can be, right? Because you think of the hobbies we like. Same thing with cosplay. Like these things that are perceived as like awkward or nerdy are like kind of trendy now.
Yes.
And so it's been really cool seeing people of like status or like somebody that you've seen in like a film or in your favorite, sports team. I don't know sports, but it's interesting to see that they're just also nerdy and just enjoy playing the game. It's cute.
Yeah, it's fun. I think one thing that I love about cosplay is that it's given people a community of like-minded things that was so like weird and taboo to like back in the day. And it's awesome that Magic does that as well. Yeah. It brings all these different people together into one spot just to play fun card games.
It's just people who want to like communicate and like enjoy a play experience no matter what that is together. I again am very socially introverted. Cosplay was like my way of being a little more extroverted and like interacting with people, and it's introduced me to so many other things. Like I have a bad fear of public speaking. So bad. It wasn't until I did panels and workshops where I was like, oh, I love talking about this thing, that I was like, I can do this in front of people. Even on like Twitch when I used to stream, like that was like a way for me to like be interactive with people. And I don't think I would have ever been able to do it if it wasn't for like nerdy hobbies, which feels so weird to say. Yeah.
Do you have anything like new and exciting coming up as far as like D&D? Well, really anything that you do.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I talked about D&D a little bit, but I have a channel coming up called Dice and Daydreams. It is myself, Anna Margaret, and comedian, and we rotate as GMs, but we also bring on guest players and guest GMs to do different games with us. It's always like a one-shot that's spread into 2 or 3 episodes, so you can see the whole campaign in a month and doesn't spread out to like 3 years or anything crazy like that. And we do a variety of systems because I love traditional D&D, but there's a lot of easy one-shots that are like single pages or D6s or something unique. And we have a lot of fun doing it. So I'm excited to get some of those episodes out. We were talking about earlier too, like having a queue and like prepping everything that you want to do can be so difficult. And we've been filming episodes since last year. And so now that it's releasing, it's like really fun to see.
Yay. Oh, that's going to be so fun.
I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, that's so fun. I was talking to you earlier about how D&D I think is so exciting and so fun in theory, and I want to be able to like relax and play it more. So I'd like to I don't know.
I think you would be so good at it.
Dip my toes in a little bit, figure it out. You know what I mean?
I think you're so good at articulating your feelings, and I think you have a really good like expressive face. And I think D&D can feel overwhelming because like it's not just you and the GM, right? You have 3 to 4, maybe 5 other players, and you're all trying to build chemistry to make an enjoyable thing to watch, but also feel secure in like what you're creating. Because we talked earlier, like it's not like when you're in cosplay that you're cosplaying a character. You're making this original character that is supposed to be, you know, not really a reflection of you. It might be the complete opposite. But for me, I put a lot of my personality into my characters. And so it can be really scary to like put that part of you out there, which I can think it could be scary.
I just think that the anxiety of performing maybe is what's getting me. But I want to get past that really badly because it looks like so much fun. And every time I've played, it has been fun, even though I've been like freaking out behind the scenes. So I'm looking forward to that.
We gotta get you with a good crew that you feel comfortable with, and then we'll make it so you're like, oh, I can do this. Because I know you can do this. I definitely know you can do this.
I feel that too. I feel like I've got it in me somewhere. So you do a lot of D&D, and do you also DM?
I do. So I'm going to be DMing for the channel. I like to do spooky stuff, and I also like really cute, like cuddly stuff. So there's a thing called Humblewood, which is like similar to the Bloomborough magic set, where it's like cute little critters. So I have something for that, and then I'm also doing just like a lot of spooky things because I like creating like ominous atmospheres. And I like go to Gen Con every year, and I spend hundreds of dollars on other systems. And I have four of the shelves on the Calyx unit at my house are just filled with RPGs. There's ones with like little cats where you get to play as cats. I'm very excited about that.
Cute.
Yeah, it's just that's the kind of stuff I like, is like play as weird animals or be really scary. So I enjoy GMing, but I'm more nervous to DM than play because it's like you want 4 to however many people to have a really good experience. And while I've done that at home in the past, I haven't for a channel or like a production ever. So that's like kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah. Do you have like a process of planning, but then also preparing for when the players inevitably go off the rails?
I am so meticulous that I try to write like plan ABC. And sometimes they go DEF, and I don't have anything for that, right? So it's a lot of like rolling with the punches of what your players want to do. Because as much as you could be like, the library has this interesting thing, they're gonna be like, I want to go to the pub, and the pub is gonna have this thing, and the tavern's gonna have this. So it's a lot of just like, you can't screw up as a GM if you are just allowing your players to like have fun. And while you could still have like a major goal that your players are supposed to accomplish throughout the day, like as long as everybody's getting along and creating a fun storytelling space, because it is a storytelling game with you and your players, right? Like it's not just the GM story. So it's a lot of collaborative storytelling. And I think at first I was so anxious that if it didn't go like the GM's way, that the story would be ruined. And it took me a few sessions to be like, oh no, like this is a world we're building together. Even if it's a book that is already printed, it's a world we're building together. And yes, I am meticulous, so I do get a little anxious, but I try to come up with a few options in case they want to go somewhere else.
Right.
But, yeah.
Like the neon sign is like library.
Yep.
It's like,
and the
people
dim, yep.
The reporter, and there's newspaper clippings all over the ground, and they're like, we should go anywhere else
but there. Yep, that's definitely happened for sure.
Right. I feel like I'm guilty of that as well. But that's part of the fun of it.
But you get invested in this like NPC that does not matter, that you need to know more about always. It does not matter.
Suddenly they're part of your party.
And
right.
Yep. And I don't mind that as a GM, because then it gives me something to like role play for a while, because sometimes like you do a lot of NPCs that you never see again, but when you add like a random one to your party for like a session or two, it could be really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a charity event, D&D, and then I also did a D&D one-shot at a con, and it's always been like wholesome and really fun. You know what I mean?
We just did one at GalaxyCon with Tabitha and Blake from Has Been Hotel. And he was playing this really cute little wizard. And every time he rolled for Arcana, he was missing. So I would roll really high and I'd be like, oh, he told me how to do this. And I would like try to like really hype up his character to make it look like, you know, the character was obviously really smart, but his rolls were bad. So it's really like just about finding like a moment where you can work together. And, you know, he was like, oh, thank you. That was like a fun thing to role play. But sometimes it's just chaos too. So
yeah. I saw in an interview that you were talking about DMing, and you mentioned that you love giving inspiration out.
Oh yeah,
it's like your favorite thing.
I give it out like candy. Yeah, because I feel like players should feel rewarded for good actions that they're doing.
Mhm.
If you think of something that I didn't think of, or if you have a clever way of doing something, like I don't know, anything, like you could open the door, right? Or you can kick down the door, or you could check for locks, or somebody could say the door's literally open. Like I love stuff like that. I like when a player is like thinking outside of the traditional, this is what D&D is, because we're in our 5th edition, right? So there's been so much of like, this is the barbarian, he's strong, he knocks down doors, right? I like breaking that mold, and I like when players do that too.
Right. Do you have a particular story or anything that comes to mind of like a fun time that you gave somebody inspiration?
Oh man, I don't think off the top of my head there's a big one, but I like it. I like to do it when they work together. So if I see a player really like getting emotional in role play, or really feeling like they created a collaborative. Are you okay?
I am. I just poured coffee down my
We can take a second. We come back.
face, and you know what? That's on brand for me.
No, you're good. I usually do the same. Yeah, I think teamwork is so important in any role-playing story. Again, like I said, you're working together to create this collaborative story. So I feel like if I see a moment where players are really sharing a moment that changes the course of the story, or something that, again, I think is differently, I just really lean towards those types of moments.
I saw that you posted something along the lines of Balatro has gotten all of my friends.
Oh my God.
Have you started playing Balatro yet, or have you avoided it?
So I just, when everybody else plays, I play just regular solitaire on my phone, because I know if I have something like that on my phone, I'm going to be addicted.
Yeah.
For context, like during the pandemic, I logged 800.
Are you playing right now?
Oh my gosh. So I logged about 800 hours into Animal Crossing during the pandemic because I had nothing else to do. And that's like how people would meet up and do stuff. And I know that like I'm a competitive person. And so if I have something like Balatro on my phone, that is all I'm going to do.
Right.
And I think it was like one of the top games of this past year, or at least was talked about the most.
But
But
it was nominated for Game of the Year.
yeah,
I'm
see,
pretty sure.
I don't know if it did anything, but for everybody I know, it has. And every card player I know has it, and either will say it's only on my Switch so that I don't have it on my phone because I don't want to be on it all day, or it's on their phone and like that's all they do. Have you tried it?
I have tried it.
Do you like it?
I do like it.
Is it
a lot.
dangerous?
It is dangerous.
Yeah.
It's totally dangerous.
This is why I won't do it.
It's addicting. You like want, as soon as you like lose, you want to go right back into it. So it's that like never ending feeling, you know?
Well, they did some skins where it was like Critical Role had some like Balatro cards and like other brands. I'm like, this is how you're gonna get me in.
Yeah.
Because now I'm gonna want to collect the cool stuff, because I'm a trinkets lady. Like I collect oddities and a bunch of weird occult things in my house, right? So I collect trinkets and fun things, and then I like cards, and you're putting them together. And I'm competitive. It's too much. Yeah.
I get it. I'm also competitive.
Yeah.
I downloaded it, and I couldn't get past the first, like, I guess I couldn't win with the first deck.
Yeah.
And you need to win with all the decks to unlock the other decks. And I went hard. I went deep, watching all the lore videos of like what jokers to take. And anyway,
see, we're talking now, and there's so many things I feel like you are and I are similar on when it comes to like this nature. And I'm like, well, now maybe I should download it, because then I can like tell Danielle how to be in Balatro. Like it's yeah, you'll get me with that for
I
sure.
mean, it is fun, but I wanna talk magic.
Yeah.
I wanna talk about how to build some decks.
I got you. I'll
That's what
coach
I
you.
want.
Yeah, I believe in you.
But you mentioned spooky things and collecting occult things. I saw that you went to a haunted place where they filmed Shawshank Redemption, I'm pretty sure. Can you tell the story of like the crazy stuff that happened?
Yes. So my first podcast episode is all about how I grew up in a haunted house. My mom has always been like spirit sensitive, and I know not everybody believes in ghosts. Do you believe in ghosts?
I want to say yes.
Like there's something maybe,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's so much stuff that feels like it could be unexplainable. And I've done a few ghost tours before and ghost hunts. This was where Shawshank Redemption was filmed. It was the Mansfield Reformatory, I believe, in Ohio. And we were given, it was really cute because they set you up, you pay this X amount of money. They set you up for X hours a night. They give you like a pizza party so you can like go have food after. It's very cute.
Aww.
And before you start your solo tour or with your group, there is a person who walks you through the building, and they just tell you what each area is, so you know. They give you flashlights, they talk about everything. And I've always believed that there are like something like ghosts or spirits or something else, but I've always found a reason. Like I'm skeptical but also a believer. So I'm like, okay, what was this noise? We look and figure out it's a raccoon, or the door slammed because it was windy, like those types of things. So when we were just about done with the tour, our tour guide showed us a cell and was like, this is where XX information happened, whatever had been said. And there was a red light. And as he like went like this to lean over, I saw another shadowy figure lean over him, and it had like shaggy hair, no face, just dark. And it felt like he was like almost like playing a prank on him, like to be like over the shoulder. And I just, my like heart stopped, and I was like literally shaking. I was like, oh my fucking God. I just like started yelling, and everybody's like, what? I'm like, you guys didn't see that? And they're like, no. And I'm like, I'm not even playing around because I'll make a little joke and be like, ooh, it's something. But it happened so quickly, and I was trying to look. I was like, okay, is there some kind of like, somebody doing lights in the background? Is there somebody putting something up? I like walked into, as he was walking in the cell, this thing happened. It felt like it was maybe the person who was in the cell playing like a little prank on the dude because he's walking around. And so I thought, this is really weird. I don't know if I'm going to be comfortable the rest of this tour because I'm going to be thinking about this thing. And it's like the middle of winter, so we're bundled up with like 3 layers. It's freezing. We're going through this building, and now there was a room where they said, unfortunately, it's a very sad story because the prison was very overcrowded. And so there's rooms where the cell was probably like to the size of your table, and people would be like 3 of them in a room. So 2 stacked on one on the floor with like barely any room. They ended up actually building a prison behind it that's active. So that's like 2 different areas. But there's a lot of sad stories that have to go with this. And one was a man, apparently, I don't even know if I can say this on YouTube, but he had some turpentine and like set himself on fire. And there was a part where when we were looking for his cell, because they like tell you these are the haunted cells and things happen, we were a floor above him, and we smelt what smelled like burning like hair, and like I thought it was maybe like maybe a car's tires had burned out or something nearby. Like I was trying to make sense of it, and we didn't know that we were above his cell at the time when we smelt that. So there was a lot of weird phantom smells and sounds and things where, like, to me, can somebody maybe be in there like burning something? Yeah, but like there was nobody in that part of the building.
And it was freezing.
It was like a very strong, like warm odor. It was crazy.
Wow.
And I've never experienced something like that in my life. I've always just been like, yeah, this place is haunted. Haha. Like I live really close to Eastern State Penitentiary. That's also very haunted. And I've always like been very skeptical. And that was the one instance where I felt weird. The last thing that happened is I recorded a ton of voice memos on my phone because I was like, what if we catch like a noise? And we don't use those like spirit boxes. I don't know if you've ever seen them, where it'll be like the radio is playing and they're trying to pick up like a phrase and they're thinking the ghost is saying that phrase, because I think that's a lot of bullshit. But this time I was like, I'm just gonna leave my phone in rooms and hear what happens. And it was myself, my friend, her sister, and her husband. And we were talking, and I was saying how I really wish that all the cells had information on the past inmates that were here, because I think it's important to like learn the history of the people that were here before. And I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent about this story. Please. So I was like, I really wish that they had some information about these people out there. And her husband was like, yeah, I agree. And then there was another male voice on the phone after, and he had said, I know. And so we kept playing it back because we were like, there's no way there's a voice on here. There was no other men there. He said his piece. He didn't say anything else after. It was a completely different voice. And none of us were talking. So this is when we were in like the hospital wing too. And so it was just really eerie.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I know that might sound like, I don't know. I tried, like, there was a part where we did hear some noise and we followed it. And it was like a little cat, like a little stray cat in there. It was cute. But I don't know. There was also a part too where they say it smells like in the woman's area for the wife of the warden or whoever was there, they say you could smell pie, which we smelt, but I'm like, they might just have some plugins somewhere. Like, you know what I mean? That might be something. But for everything else that I explained, those were unexplainable to me. Like that was like, I was so freaked out by that place. I was like, I don't think I would ever go back there.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Have you done anything like that since?
No, because it freaked me out so bad. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. I'm really interested in history. I'm going to New Orleans in a couple months, and like I'm going to go, of course, like see all the stuff there. And I want to do more ghost tours, but that was like the one time in my life where I feel like things happened to me other than like people hearing things or listening to stories, because I've spent a lot of time like researching other people's stories and listening to them. Growing up, there was nothing to do in my small town, so we did what was like weird New Jerseying, which was like one of the first ever newsletters to post about all the weird happenings in our state. So we would just go travel to places, see these like very haunted spots and experience them, and nothing weird ever happened to me. I've had like small things that I'm like, that might be a ghost, but I've always found a plausible thing. That was the only place where something was like too much for me to explain.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's super haunted and scary.
Yeah.
So.
I am so scared of the paranormal because like, what do you do?
Yeah.
What can you do? It's not like you could like fight them.
No. And that's like, I'm always interested in that because I've had like other stories where like maybe there's ghosts and stuff at that time, but like the one that was the first time I saw something that felt like a shadowy figure, and it just felt silly. Like it didn't feel like it was threatening. I watch so much horror in real life that I'm always afraid of something like that happening, right? Or like an Amityville horror or something that's like possessive, the paranormal activity or something. Like that's my nightmare. But I've never had anything like that happen. I don't know. It's a lot.
Wow. Yeah, that's terrifying. It's so scary.
Yeah.
It's similar to aliens for me, where I am like, am I the authority to say whether or not I think these things are real? Like they certainly can be.
They showed us that UFOs exist, right? And they've confirmed it. And it was like during like a pandemic or something big where they're like, oh, we're brushed this off. There's no way we're the only beings.
I agree. Yeah. It seems, I don't know.
We're so small.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so small in comparison, which freaks me out sometimes. I love space. I like will sit on NASA all day just like reading articles and information on that. But there's no way we're the only ones. There's impossible.
No, it seems silly to think that, honestly, because in the vastness of everything,
I know.
Right? Like we are the only things. Like,
do you think that you're like there's like an alternate reality Danielle that's like somewhere else doing something? Like alien Danielle or like other planet Danielle? You know what I mean?
Alternate realities. You know, I haven't thought about that nearly as much, and my gut reaction is to say no. But again, who am I to know? Like, that's spooky.
There's so many layers to stuff. I know. I think about that all the time. I try not to get too much into the like the space is so grand and big, because then I get like, oh my god, the space is so
overwhelmed.
But I just feel like it's so cool that we're lucky to be in this timeline and like see so many cool things and be able to talk about cosplay and aliens on the same podcast is pretty cool.
I agree. Well, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you taking time out of your LA trip to be here with me. Thank you so much for discussing card games and aliens and ghosts and everything in between. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm always happy to chat with you. I'm glad that we got to have a few minutes to talk about all the crazy stuff that's in my life.
Can you tell everybody what your social media handles are and what platforms you're most active on?
Yeah. So if you just go to luastardust.com, you can find everything that I'm on. I'm most active on Instagram. I do a little Blue Sky, sometimes TikTok. And it's just Lua Stardust on everything. And you can find all my other channels right on my website too.
Yay. Well, thank you again.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
This was super fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad. So then to transition, the spooky occult things that you own, can you give us a couple of your like favorite decorations that you have and where they came from?